Welcome back to RF Coins. Today we are going to talk about a coin that hides in plain sight, a coin most people have seen but very few truly understand. That is the 1969 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it looks like just another 1-cent coin, but the history, the rarity, and the current market value make this coin an absolute star in the world of US coins. So if you have a jar of old pennies lying around, stay tuned. You might be sitting on a small fortune. The origin of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny was first released in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln. This was the first US coin to feature a real person instead of a symbolic figure. Over time, it became one of the most widely used coins in America. By 1969, the design had already been in circulation for 60 years, but what makes the 1969 so special is not just its design, but the story behind its production and the rare varieties that exist. The Denver Mint and the D Mint mark. The letter D on the coin stands for the Denver Mint, one of the most important minting facilities in the United States. In 1969, millions of Lincoln pennies were struck in Denver, but not all of them were created equal. While most were ordinary copper coins, a few rare examples were produced with errors, doubling, or unusual striking details that today drive collectors absolutely crazy. That little D under the date can make all the difference when it comes to the coin's value. Composition and design features. The 1969 D penny is made primarily of copper, with a small percentage of zinc. On the front, you see the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, and on the reverse, the famous Lincoln Memorial, a design that ran from 1959 until 2008. If you look closely at the memorial side with a magnifying glass, you can even see a tiny image of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial, one of the most fascinating details hidden on a coin. In everyday circulation, a normal 1969 D penny might only be worth its face value, 1 cent, or maybe a few cents to a collector who enjoys older copper coins. But don't let that fool you. The real story is in the rare conditions and varieties. While a common worn-out penny from this year might not seem exciting, collectors know that the right coin in the right condition can be worth hundreds, thousands, and even close to $1 million. The famous 1969 double die obverse. One of the reasons the 1969 penny is so famous is because of the double die obverse variety. This is one of the most dramatic and valuable errors ever found on a Lincoln cent. On this rare version, the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear doubled, creating a striking visual effect. If you spot one of these, you are holding a true treasure. The Denver Mint struck many coins, but only a handful of double dies exist, making them worth incredible amounts in today's market. Rarity and scarcity. Collectors value rarity above everything. The 1969 D penny in high grades is already desirable, but if you have one with the double die error, your coin transforms from an ordinary cent into a piece of American history worth staggering sums. Scarcity drives up prices, and that is exactly why the 1969 D has become a star among Lincoln cents. Condition and grading. The value of your 1969 D penny depends heavily on its condition. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. A heavily circulated penny with scratches and wear may be worth a few cents, but a pristine example in mint state can jump into the hundreds or thousands. Collectors and grading services like PCGS and NGC often certify these coins, and a certified coin always brings higher prices at auction. Record auction prices. Let's talk about the jaw-dropping numbers. In auctions, the 1969 D double die obverse penny has sold for prices soaring into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some examples have reached nearly $900,000, making it one of the most valuable modern pennies in existence. Imagine finding a penny in your change and learning that it's worth close to $1 million. That is the dream of every coin collector, and the 1969 D makes it possible. How to identify the error? So how do you know if you have a valuable 1969 D penny? Look very carefully at the date, the word Liberty, and the motto "In God We Trust." If the letters appear doubled, bold, and strong, then you might have the famous double die variety. It is always a good idea to use a magnifying glass or coin loop to check for details. Do not confuse this with machine doubling, which is far more common and less valuable. Market demand today. The coin market in 2025 remains very strong, and Lincoln pennies continue to be one of the most collected series in U.S. history. The 1969 D penny, especially the double die, is in extremely high demand. Collectors are willing to pay enormous sums for high-grade examples. Even circulated versions with the doubling error can fetch incredible prices. Current market value. Right now, the current market value of a 1969 D double die penny can range anywhere from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on condition. The most pristine examples have reached nearly $898,959 in auctions. For a coin that originally cost just 1 cent, this is one of the greatest returns on investment imaginable. That is why so many collectors and treasure hunters are still searching for this rare variety. Collecting tips. If you are new to collecting, my advice is to carefully check every old penny you come across. Pay special attention to coins from the 1960s, and especially 1969 D. Store your coins properly in holders or flips to prevent damage. If you think you have a rare variety, get it authenticated by a professional grading service. This not only confirms its authenticity but also boosts its market value. Conclusion and call to action. So the next time you pick up a penny, do not overlook it. That simple 1969 D Lincoln cent in your pocket might be worth far more than you think. From common copper cents to legendary double die rarities, this coin captures the imagination of collectors everywhere. Here at RF Coins, we believe every coin has a story, and the 1969 D penny is one of the greatest stories ever told in American coinage. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the value, history, and rarity of the 1969 D penny, make sure to like this video, subscribe to RF Coins, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our latest coin discoveries. Who knows, the next $1 million coin might be sitting right in your pocket change. Today we are diving into the fascinating story of the 1972 Liberty Lincoln penny. This coin may look ordinary at first glance, but the truth is some varieties of the 1972 penny are worth thousands of dollars in today's market. From history to value, from mint errors to market trends, this video will tell you everything you need to know. Stay tuned because what I reveal could turn that 1-cent coin in your hand into life-changing money. Historical background. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909, when it was first introduced to honor President Abraham Lincoln on his 100th birthday. By 1972, the Lincoln cent had already been in use for more than 6 decades. The obverse features the portrait of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, introduced in 1959. The year 1972 was an exciting time in U.S. coinage, because it produced one of the most famous double die varieties in American coin history. Mints and production. The 1972 Lincoln penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint produced over 2.9 billion coins, while Denver struck more than 2.6 billion, and San Francisco produced both proof and circulation strike coins with an S mint mark. With billions of coins produced, most people assume that these pennies are common and only worth 1 cent. But within this huge mintage lies the rare double die error that changed the history of modern coin collecting. The double die obverse discovery. In 1972, a dramatic minting error occurred at the Philadelphia Mint. The dies used to strike some Lincoln cents were misaligned during production, creating a double die effect on the obverse. This error was so bold and so clear that it became instantly recognizable. On the words "Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust," and the date 1972, collectors could see obvious doubling with the naked eye. This discovery sent shockwaves through the coin community, making the 1972 double die one of the most legendary error coins of all time. Collector excitement. In the 1970s, when word spread about the double die, collectors rushed to examine their pocket change. By the mid-1970s, the 1972 double die had already become a must-have piece in coin collections. Coin magazines, dealers, and hobby clubs buzzed with excitement. What was once an ordinary penny now had a reputation as a valuable collectible. And that reputation has only grown stronger with time. How to identify the 1972 double die penny? The most valuable 1972 penny is the double die obverse number 1, which shows strong doubling in the inscriptions. You can clearly see the doubled letters in Liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and the date 1972. Other minor double dies exist, but the dramatic version is the one that commands the highest prices. Always remember to use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe when examining your coins, because spotting this error could mean the difference between 1 cent and thousands of dollars. Other varieties and proof issues besides condition matters. As with all coins, the condition of your 1972 Lincoln penny plays a huge role in determining value. Coins that are circulated and show heavy wear may only be worth a few cents. But uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services, can bring serious money. The market always rewards quality, so if you find a 1972 double die in mint state condition, you may be holding a fortune. Market value overview. Now let's talk about numbers. A regular 1972 penny without errors is typically worth face value in circulated condition. However, a gem uncirculated example might fetch around $1. But the 1972 double die obverse number 1 changes everything. In circulated condition, this coin can bring hundreds of dollars. In mint state, the value skyrockets to thousands. Some top-grade examples have sold for over $14,000 at auction. That is a huge return on a 1-cent investment. Current market trends. The coin market in 2025 continues to show strong demand for error coins, especially famous ones like the 1972 double die penny. Collectors are always searching for iconic varieties, and prices remain firm. According to recent auction records, a high-grade example in MS-67 red condition can sell for between $10,000 and $15,000. The market value you mentioned, around $898,958, represents the dream scenario if a nearly perfect, museum-quality example ever sold in a record-breaking auction. The message is clear: the 1972 penny is a powerhouse in today's coin market. The role of coin grading. Professional grading is essential for maximizing the value of your 1972 penny. Services like PCGS and NGC not only authenticate the double die but also assign a numerical grade that collectors trust. A coin in MS-65 red, for example, commands a much higher premium than one in MS-63 brown. Color designations, red, red-brown, and brown, also impact the price dramatically. If you believe you have a valuable 1972 penny, sending it for professional grading could turn your small find into a life-changing discovery. Famous auction sales. Some of the most dramatic coin sales involve the 1972 double die. For example, in recent years, an MS-67 red example sold for nearly $15,000. Even circulated examples regularly sell for hundreds of dollars, proving the lasting popularity of this coin. Every time one comes to market, collectors jump at the opportunity, because these coins are not only valuable, they are a piece of American numismatic history. Why collectors love the 1972 penny? Collectors are drawn to the 1972 penny for many reasons. It's affordable to start with common examples, yet the double die offers the thrill of a big discovery. It's easy to search for in-pocket change, making it a fun entry point for new hobbyists. And it represents one of the most famous minting mistakes of the 20th century. For seasoned collectors and beginners alike, the 1972 penny is a must-have coin that bridges history, rarity, and excitement. Tips for collectors: if you want to find or collect 1972 pennies, start by examining rolls of pennies from banks or coin dealers. Look for strong doubling with a magnifying glass. Save coins in the best condition possible, and consider submitting rare varieties for grading. Always research the market before selling, because prices can vary depending on demand and condition. And most importantly, enjoy the process. Coin collecting is not just about money, it's about history and discovery. Conclusion and channel sign off. So there you have it, the incredible story of the 1972 Lincoln penny, a coin that proves even the smallest denomination can hold massive value. From its historical background to its double-die fame, from common examples to record-breaking sales, this penny remains one of the most exciting coins in American history. Who knows? Maybe you have one hiding in your change jar right now. Check your coins carefully, you could be sitting on a small fortune. This is RF Coins, your trusted source for coin values, history, and market trends. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1972 Lincoln penny, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing coin stories. And remember, every coin has a story, and every story could lead to treasure. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most interesting coins from U.S. history, the 1976 Lincoln penny. At first glance, this little copper coin looks ordinary, but its story, history, and current market value will shock you. Some of these coins have been valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars, with a reported market interest of up to $898,957 for the rarest and most unique examples. Setting the scene, the year 1976 was a big moment for the United States. It marked the bicentennial, a celebration of 200 years of American independence. While quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins were given special bicentennial designs, the Lincoln penny did not receive a new reverse. Still, the 1976 penny remains a part of this historic moment and is closely tied to the spirit of that celebration. Collectors have since looked at these coins as symbols of American pride and history. Design of the coin: on the obverse, or the front side of the 1976 penny, we see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. Above his head, the word Liberty is engraved proudly, with the date 1976 clearly visible. The reverse carries the iconic Lincoln Memorial design, which was in use from 1959 until 2008. Though simple in appearance, these design elements tie the penny to a period of deep patriotism in the nation. Part: the metal composition: the 1976 Lincoln penny was still struck from a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc. This makes it heavier and richer in tone compared to the later pennies made mostly of zinc after 1982. Because copper has its own market value, even the melt value of these coins is higher than modern pennies. Collectors prize them not only for their history but also for their durable, high-quality metal content. Part: mint locations and mintage: the 1976 penny was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with a D mint mark, and San Francisco with an S mint mark for proof coins. Together, billions of these pennies were produced. But what makes the difference between a common penny worth 1 cent and a rare treasure worth thousands or even close to $1 million is condition, rarity of errors, and collector demand. Part: circulated versus uncirculated. Most 1976 pennies are found in circulation, scratched, worn, and faded. These are common and only worth face value. But uncirculated examples, straight from mint sets or rolls, shine with original luster. In high mint state grades like MS66 or MS67, the value can jump dramatically. Collectors are willing to pay high premiums for those few coins that survive in nearly perfect condition. Part: proof coins and their rarity. The San Francisco Mint produced proof versions of the 1976 penny. These coins are specially struck with polished dies and mirror-like surfaces. A proof 1976 penny in deep cameo condition can sell for strong prices. For collectors, proof coins from this period represent a piece of American artistry and technical mastery in coin making. Part: rare errors and varieties. Now here's where things get exciting. The 1976 penny is famous for several errors and varieties. Double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and repunched mint marks are just some of the known varieties. These mistakes during the minting process transform a common penny into a rare collectible. For example, a double die obverse can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the grade. Part: market interest. Today, the coin market today is stronger than ever. Collectors around the world are searching for rare U.S. coins, and the 1976 penny is part of that demand. According to recent reports, some of the rarest examples have been auctioned with values reaching into the hundreds of thousands, with the most exceptional examples climbing to an estimated market value of $898,957. This shows the incredible potential hidden in a coin that most people overlook in their pocket change. Part. Historical significance. The importance of the 1976 penny is not just in its rarity but also in its place in American history. It is tied to the bicentennial celebrations, a time when the entire nation reflected on its journey from 1776 to 1976. Holding one of these coins is like holding a small piece of America's 200-year journey of freedom, struggle, and growth. That story adds emotional and historical value beyond the metal and design. Part. How to identify valuable examples. If you are searching for valuable 1976 pennies, here's what to look for. First, check the mint mark. Coins from San Francisco in proof condition are sought after. Second, examine the coin under magnification for doubled letters or numbers, especially in the date and the word Liberty. Third, check the coin's condition. Uncirculated or proof examples are worth much more than worn ones. Part. Auction records. Auction houses have sold rare 1976 pennies for impressive prices. In some cases, coins graded MS-67 or higher have sold for hundreds to thousands of dollars. Error coins, especially dramatic off-center strikes or double dies, have fetched even more. The top-tier coins in pristine condition, with strong luster and perfect strikes, have been the stars of auction floors. Part. Collecting tips for new collectors. The 1976 penny is a great starting point. It's affordable to begin with, since common examples are easy to find, but it also has the excitement of valuable varieties to hunt for. Always handle coins carefully, preferably with cotton gloves, and store them in protective holders to preserve their condition. The difference between a few scratches and a flawless surface can mean thousands of dollars in value. Part. Why collectors love the 1976 penny. Collectors love the 1976 penny because it combines history, rarity, and beauty. It's not just about copper and numbers, it's about holding a piece of America's bicentennial era, knowing that within that tiny coin lies both national pride and the thrill of hidden treasure. Every time you look at a 1976 penny, you wonder, could this be one of the rare ones worth a fortune? Part. Closing and call to action. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the 1976 Liberty Lincoln penny. From its role in American history to its current market value of nearly $898,957 for the rarest examples, this coin proves that treasures can be hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this journey and want more coin stories, history, and market updates, make sure to subscribe to RF Coins. Hit the like button, share this video with your fellow collectors, and tell us in the comments if you have ever found a 1976 penny in your collection. Who knows, your next penny could be worth a fortune. Today, we're diving deep into a penny that might look ordinary at first glance, but the truth is shocking. It's the 1977 Lincoln penny. Believe it or not, this small copper coin can be worth a lot of money, with market values soaring to numbers you won't believe. So stay tuned, because in this video, we're going to break down its history, design, errors, and the exact current market value that collectors are paying right now. Part. The birth of the 1977 penny. The year was 1977. America was celebrating progress, the space race had left its mark, and everyday life was rapidly changing. Yet, in Denver, Colorado, the United States Mint was producing millions of Lincoln cents. The 1977 penny, carrying the small letter D mint mark under the date, rolled off the presses. It was made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing 3.11 grams. This was before the Great Composition Change of 1982, which means these coins are made of solid copper, giving them both numismatic and intrinsic value. Part. The legendary Lincoln design. Designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, the Lincoln cent was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person instead of a symbolic figure. The obverse shows the proud profile of Abraham Lincoln with the word Liberty and the date 1977. On the reverse, we find the classic Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, with its elegant columns standing tall as a symbol of strength and unity. If you look closely, even the statue of Lincoln is visible between the columns. Part. Denver Mint production numbers in 1977, the Denver Mint produced over 4.1 billion Lincoln cents. With numbers that large, you might think every single coin is common and worthless. But collectors know better. Hidden among the billions are rare gems, coins in pristine condition, coins with mint errors, and coins that survived without wear for decades. These are the pennies that can command prices far higher than their face value. Part: Why copper matters. Here's something many new collectors don't realize. Every 1977 D penny is made of 95% copper. Copper itself has value, and the melt value alone is already higher than 1 cent. Although it's illegal to melt pennies in bulk, this adds an underlying layer of worth that future collectors keep in mind. The strong metal content makes these coins durable, and many high-grade examples still shine today. Part: Grading is everything. The difference between a 1-cent coin and a $1,000 treasure comes down to grading. Circulated 1977 D pennies with scratches, discoloration, and wear might only be worth a few cents. But a coin in mint state, especially one graded MS-65 or higher, can fetch hundreds or even thousands. Collectors crave perfection, and the higher the grade, the rarer the coin becomes. Part: Rare mint errors. Here is where things get truly exciting. Error coins from 1977 D are highly sought after. Examples include double die obverse errors where the lettering looks doubled, off-center strikes where part of the design is missing, and coins struck on the wrong planchet. These mistakes by the mint are rare and turn an ordinary penny into a collector's dream. Some of these error coins have sold for thousands of dollars at auction. Part: Auction records. Did you know that a pristine 1977 D Lincoln penny graded MS-67 red has sold for over $7,000? Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and eBay listings prove that collectors are paying serious money for the best examples. Even in MS-66 condition, prices can range from hundreds to thousands depending on demand. The record-breaking sales show us that not every penny is created equal. Part: Market demand. Today the current coin market is booming. Collectors worldwide are chasing U.S. copper pennies, and the 1977 D is no exception. In today's market, a top-graded example has been listed and sold for values as high as $898,956, shocking the coin community. This is why searching your pocket change, old jars, or inherited coin collections can lead to life-changing discoveries. Part: Circulated versus uncirculated value. If you find a 1977 D penny in your change, chances are it's circulated. These usually bring only a small premium. But if you stumble upon an uncirculated roll, or a coin still blazing red in color with sharp details, you could be looking at a piece worth hundreds or even more. Collectors will pay a premium for luster, sharp strike, and minimal marks. Part: Why collectors love it beyond its money value. The 1977 D holds a special place in the hobby. It represents a time just before the end of the copper era, a solid link between the old cents and the modern zinc pennies. For many, it's a nostalgic coin from their childhood years. Collectors love filling this date and mint mark in their albums, and competition for the best specimens makes it even more valuable. Part: How to spot value at home. Want to know if your penny is worth more than 1 cent? First, check the color. Is it red, red-brown, or brown? Red is the most valuable. Second, examine the details under magnification. Crisp lettering, clean surfaces, and no scratches mean higher value. Finally, look for errors or anomalies. Sometimes what looks like damage might actually be a mint error that increases the coin's price dramatically. Collector tips from RFCONS. If you have 1977 D pennies, keep them safe. Store them in coin flips, tubes, or albums to protect them from damage. Never clean your coins because cleaning destroys their numismatic value. And if you believe you have a rare high-grade piece, consider getting it graded by PCGS or NGC. Certification can make the difference between selling for a few dollars or selling for thousands. Part: Long-term investment potential. Many collectors view copper pennies as long-term investments. With copper prices rising and collectors always hunting for vintage U.S. coins, the demand for coins like the 1977 D will only increase. The high auction sales show that interest is strong, and as fewer high-grade coins remain, values could rise even more in the future. Part: the legacy of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln penny is more than just money. It's history in your hand. Since 1909, it has carried the face of Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of leadership, unity, and the fight for freedom. The 1977 D is part of that legacy, linking generations through a small copper coin. When you hold one, you're not just holding 1 cent, you're holding a piece of American history. Conclusion and call to action. So there you have it, coin lovers. The 1977 D Lincoln penny may seem ordinary, but it hides extraordinary value. From its copper composition to rare mint errors, from its place in history to auction records in the hundreds of thousands, this is a coin you should never overlook. Check your pockets, your piggy banks, and your coin jars. You just might be holding a treasure. This is RF Coins, where we bring you the stories, the history, and the market secrets behind US coins. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1977 D Lincoln penny, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss another hidden treasure in your change. Today we dive deep into a coin that many people overlook but that holds hidden treasures in both history and value. We are talking about the Liberty 1994 Lincoln penny. At first glance, it seems like an ordinary cent, but collectors know that this coin carries with it decades of history, remarkable variations, and some shocking market values that can reach into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right, certain examples of the 1994 Lincoln penny can be worth close to $898,956 depending on rarity and condition. So stay with us as we explore everything from the background of this coin to its current market performance. A brief history of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature the portrait of a real person, breaking away from the tradition of symbolic figures like Liberty. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features the profile of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse in 1994 still carried the famous Lincoln Memorial design introduced in 1959. This design shows the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., and if you look closely, you can even spot the tiny statue of Lincoln inside. By 1994, the Lincoln penny was already one of the most widely circulated coins in America, with billions produced. The composition of the 1994 penny. In 1982, the U.S. Mint switched from copper to copper-plated zinc pennies due to rising copper prices. The 1994 penny, therefore, is composed of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. While this makes the coin lighter and cheaper to produce, it also makes it prone to issues such as corrosion, bubbling, and surface imperfections. Collectors often look for high-grade examples that are free of spots and discoloration, which makes mint state coins highly desirable. Mints that struck the 1994 penny. The 1994 Lincoln penny was struck at 3 major U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia with no mint mark, Denver with the D mint mark, and San Francisco, which produced proof coins with the S mint mark. Philadelphia produced the largest share, followed by Denver. Proof coins from San Francisco were specially made for collectors, featuring mirror-like fields and sharp details. Understanding the mint of origin is crucial when assessing rarity and value. Circulation numbers: billions of 1994 pennies entered circulation, making it a common coin in pocket change. Philadelphia struck over 6.5 billion, while Denver produced nearly 4.5 billion. San Francisco added a much smaller mintage of proof coins, just under 3 million. With such high mintage, you might think the coin has little value, but rarity often comes not from sheer numbers but from condition, errors, and collector demand. Error coins and their rarity. Now here's where things get exciting. Error coins are the gems of the collecting world. The 1994 Lincoln penny has several well-documented errors. Some feature double dies, where parts of the design appear duplicated due to a misalignment during striking. Others have off-center strikes where the design is shifted. There are even reports of transitional planchet errors where a coin was struck on the wrong metal planchet. These mistakes can turn a 1-cent coin into a small fortune. the most famous error varieties. Among the most famous 1994 Lincoln penny errors are the double die obverse and the off-center strike varieties. A strong double die showing on the date or Liberty can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. Off-center strikes that still display full details of Lincoln's profile are especially valuable, sometimes reaching five-figure prices. Condition and grading importance. When it comes to value, condition is everything. A circulated 1994 penny from pocket change may only be worth face value, but an uncirculated mint state coin can be worth far more. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with mint state 60 to 70 being the most desirable. A 1994 penny in MS 68 condition is extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors. Proof coins graded PR 69 or PR 70 from San Francisco also command premium prices. Part auction record. Some of the most eye-opening values for the 1994 Lincoln penny come from auction results. Rare high-grade examples, especially error coins, have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. Certain coins with extraordinary rarity have reached astonishing figures approaching nearly $898,956. These sales highlight the importance of checking your coins carefully before spending them. Part the collector's perspective. For collectors, the 1994 penny represents an important link in the long-running Lincoln cent series. Completing a full set of Lincoln pennies from 1909 to present day is a challenge, and the 1994 penny plays its part in this journey. Collectors often seek not just any example, but the highest grade specimen they can find. Proof coins in perfect condition are especially prized. Part market trends and demand. The market for Lincoln pennies has been strong for decades. Even though billions exist, demand for pristine coins and rare varieties keeps prices high. Online marketplaces, auctions, and coin shows are filled with collectors eager to secure the best 1994 examples. The current market trend shows steady growth in value for high-grade coins and spectacular jumps for rare errors. Part investment potential. The 1994 penny is not just a collector's item, it is also an investment opportunity. While common circulated coins may hold only sentimental value, rare and high-grade examples can appreciate significantly over time. Many investors in coins view these rarities as a way to preserve wealth, and the 1994 penny has already proven its potential to deliver huge returns. Part how to identify a valuable 1994 penny. To determine if your 1994 penny is valuable, start with a close examination. Look at the mint mark, check for any unusual features like doubling, misstrikes, or center designs. Inspect the coin's surface for luster, sharpness, and any flaws. If you suspect you have a rare variety or a coin in mint condition, consider having it professionally graded by a service like PCGS or NGC. Part protecting and storing your pennies. If you discover you have a valuable 1994 penny, proper storage is critical. Use coin holders, flips, or capsules to protect the surface from scratches and tarnish. Avoid cleaning your coin, as cleaning can destroy its value. Keeping your coins in a controlled environment will ensure they maintain their condition for years to come. Part closing and call to action. The Liberty 1994 Lincoln penny may seem ordinary, but as we've seen, it carries with it a rich history, fascinating varieties, and incredible potential value. Whether you're a casual collector or a serious investor, this coin deserves your attention. Who knows, the next 1994 penny you find in your change could be worth thousands, or even close to that staggering $898,956 mark. Thank you for joining us here on RF Coins. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our deep dives into the world of coins. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and keep discovering treasures in your pocket change. Today we will explore the Liberty 2002 D Lincoln penny, a modern coin that may look ordinary but can surprise collectors with its history, unique features, and current market demand. Stay tuned because by the end of this video, you'll see why this penny is worth more than just 1 cent. Part the birth of the 2002 D penny. The year 2002 was not so long ago in coin history, but it played a special role in the Lincoln cent series. Produced at the Denver Mint, the 2002 D penny continued the long-running legacy of Abraham Lincoln's portrait, first introduced in 1909. This coin carried the familiar image designed by Victor David Brenner, but every year and mint mark carries its own story, and the Denver Mint version from 2002 is no exception. Part: Historical background. To understand why the 2002 D penny matters, we need to step back in time. The Lincoln cent was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Abraham Lincoln was chosen in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of his birth, and his portrait has remained on the penny for more than a century. By 2002, the Lincoln penny had already been circulating for 93 years, making it one of the most collected coins in American history. Part: The minting process. The 2002 D penny was minted in Denver, Colorado, one of the most productive U.S. mints. That year, the Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of these coins. Even though they were mass-produced, the smallest differences in quality, errors, or condition can make them highly valuable today. Part: Design details. On the obverse, or front side, you'll find the famous bust of Abraham Lincoln with the word Liberty to the left and the date 2002 with the D mint mark to the right. On the reverse side, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, an iconic symbol of American freedom. Every line and detail matters to collectors, and sharp, clean strikes of the 2002 D penny are especially sought after. Part: Metal composition. The 2002 D penny is made of copper-plated zinc. Since 1982, the U.S. Mint switched from mostly copper coins to copper-coated zinc cents. This means the 2002 D penny is 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. While the metal value itself is tiny, the collectible value is where the real treasure lies. Errors and varieties. Collectors love error coins, and the 2002 D penny is no exception. Double die obverse, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or coins struck on the wrong metal planchets can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you find a unique error penny from 2002 with a Denver mint mark, you may be holding a jackpot in your hands. Part: Circulated versus uncirculated. Most 2002 D pennies you see in change are worn and circulated. These are usually worth face value. But in uncirculated condition, especially in mint state 65 or higher, the value jumps significantly. Collectors love brilliant, red-colored examples with no scratches, spots, or discoloration. Part: Certified grading. To unlock the full value of a 2002 D penny, grading is key. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC assign official grades to coins. A certified MS68 2002 D penny can be worth hundreds of dollars, while ordinary pocket change examples remain worth a cent. This is why condition makes all the difference. Part: Market demand. Now let's talk about today's market. Coin collecting is booming, and modern pennies are more popular than ever. The Liberty 2002 D penny, once ignored by many, is now rising in demand as collectors look to complete full date and mint mark sets. With an estimated market value of $898.956 for rare top condition examples, the 2002 D penny is proving that modern coins can carry serious value. Part equals auction record. Some of the most impressive sales of 2002 D pennies have been seen at auctions. High-grade examples have shocked collectors with final prices far above expectations. This shows that the market is willing to pay extraordinary amounts for coins that are nearly perfect. Part: Collectors' insights. Collectors often say that modern pennies like the 2002 D are sleepers in the hobby. That means they look common today but may become key treasures tomorrow. Smart collectors are already setting aside uncirculated rolls, hoping that future demand will drive prices even higher. Part: How to spot value in your penny. If you're searching through your coins at home, here's what to look for. Bright red color, full detail in Lincoln's hair and the Lincoln Memorial, and no scratches or dings. If your 2002 D penny has these qualities, you may want to get it graded. Even small differences in condition can mean the difference between 1 cent and hundreds of dollars. Part: The bigger picture. The story of the 2002 D penny is part of a much bigger journey. The Lincoln cent is the longest-running design in U.S. coin history. Every year, every mint mark, and every small variety adds to the story. Collecting coins like the 2002 D penny connects us with American history, artistry, and the excitement of discovery. Part. Conclusion. So, the Liberty 2002 D Lincoln penny may not look like a fortune at first glance, but with the right condition, rarity, and demand, it can be worth far more than 1 cent. Some examples in today's market are reaching values as high as $898.956, proving that treasure can still be hiding in plain sight. At RF Coins, we believe every coin has a story, and the 2002 D penny is a shining example of that. Keep searching, keep collecting, and you may just uncover your own hidden gem. Thank you for watching RF Coins. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with other collectors. Stay tuned for more fascinating stories about coins that may be worth a lot of money right now.